Sorry about the awful Christmas gifts of some of the worst fixtures you could have asked for. Wasn't really my choice. Manchester United match preview. Welcome back to another video on the channel, Newcastle fans. I hope you've all been good this year. I couldn't bring myself to wear all red and white for this match preview, so I thought it was only right that I covered my suit in the lovely black and white stripes of Newcastle United. So Manchester United on the 27th. Fingers crossed the game goes ahead. Lots of games are already being cancelled, and it's another difficult fixture in what has proved to be an awful run of games in December. Going into the game, well, it's probably a more winnable one than the Leicester, Liverpool and Man City fixtures in the last three. I'm certainly not overly hopeful of getting any points in this game, but Manchester United, let's face it, are very dodgy. Defensively, very dodgy. Midfield, not great with the likes of Fred. And if we were to get any points in the Christmas run-in, minus the Everton game, you'd fancy yourselves slightly more at home to Manchester United. Team news, it's looking like Hayden's going to be out because of a suspension. That's a bit of a frustrating one. He could have been that glue in the midfield to stick to some of their more creative players. John Joe Shelvey was missing in the last match. Let's hope he's back. We certainly missed him, which isn't a statement any of us thought we'd be saying a couple of months ago. Joe Willock, well, he's fit, but I wouldn't have him anywhere near the team. He's certainly on the naughty list this year for me. And he wouldn't be anywhere near that starting lineup nor the bench. I'd rather see Elliot Anderson thrown in than Willock based off his attitude and his performances when he has played this season. Other injury concerns, well, we've got a couple of injuries at the back. It looks like Lascelles will continue in defence. He maybe looked slightly better against Manchester City, but I think it's safe to say Kieran Clark should not continue in the Newcastle starting 11. He really shouldn't. He played, much to our surprise, against Manchester City. And my God, was that mistake for the first goal an awful mistake. So for me, Fabian Schär, the handsome devil, certainly on my nice list this year, needs to come in to the starting 11 to partner what we expect to be Lascelles. Jacob Murphy played against Manchester City. Great going forward at times, but again, defensively, it's a no-no from me. He's going to be playing against the likes of Sancho, Ronaldo cutting in because he likes to roam. He cannot play in a game of this magnitude. So again, Manquillo, if fit, needs to come back into the defence. Now, I think everyone who watches the Black and White Banter channel knows that Richie, the Black and White Banter channel, is not a fan of Matt Ritchie at left-back. 2 goals, no surprise, back in the team against Manchester City. 2 goals caught out at the back post. I, for one, need him to be out of the team if we had to stand any chance. Because, again, let's face it, Manchester United are going to play a lot of their football down those wings. Attacking fullbacks, attacking wingers with the likes of Jadon Sancho, who, yes, he hasn't set the world alight for Manchester United since the summer, but he's still a pacey threat. One that Matt Ritchie's probably going to struggle to deal with. But who do you play in place of Matt Ritchie? Is Lewis back? Apparently he's still injured with that hamstring injury. So it's a very, very difficult one. It's a very difficult decision. Possibly Fraser? I know he played there briefly in the last 3 or 4 matches. He has played there before as an attacking wing-back. I would much rather see him given a go because Matt Ritchie has proved he is not defensively capable. The forward positions, well, I think Maximin, as I've mentioned on my last couple of videos, as the Black and White Banter channel has mentioned on their last couple of videos, he needs to improve. His attitude needs to improve. But in a game against a team like Manchester United, Alan St. Maximin is key to us bringing home 3 points or at least a draw. When Maximin is quiet in that midfield, we are generally quiet. And I think I speak for all Newcastle fans when I say that out there today. Almiron, well, he's a workhorse. Would I play him against Manchester United? Yes, I probably would, because he's a workhorse. Does he offer much quality going forward? No. He certainly doesn't, and that's an area that he will always need to work on. I hoped Eddie Howe could have brought it out in him, but we're still not seeing it. Ryan Fraser, for me, needs to play. He's been full of running, certainly on my nice list this year. He's probably at the top based off the last 2 games, because Santa Claus can be a little bit fickle like that, like most football fans are. He needs to stay in the team. And again, it's key that we play John Joe Shelby. If he is fit and available, get him back in that team instantly. Who do you play with John Joe? Well, with Hayden injured, I know I mentioned Willock earlier in the video. It's a very, very difficult decision. And a one that, for me, as random as this might sound, I would even be looking at playing Joe Linton in central midfield. Hear me out on this one. Joe Linton's main qualities under Howe, under this new rejuvenated Brazilian footballer that we've seen in front of our eyes, are his work rate, his tackles, his interceptions, and his driving forward with the ball. And let's face it, he's a difficult man to push off the ball. Probably more difficult than it is for me to get down the chimney every year. So for me, Joe Linton is a possible starter in central midfield. John Joe picking out the passes, Joe Linton putting in that solid graft that we have seen the last 3 or 4 matches under Eddie Howe. Callum Wilson, well, he has been starved of service. He's asked me repeatedly on his Christmas wish list for some service in the box. I'm going to try my best, Callum, if you're watching this, but I can't guarantee anything. I've spoken to St. Maximin and told him he needs to supply that if Callum is going to get what he wants under the Christmas tree this year. So let's hope that Maximin and Almiron bring you some service this year if we are to get some goals scored and some chances created in that box, because you're a live wire. And all Newcastle fans know you're a live wire. For me, this is the end of the difficult fixtures over Christmas, so it's a great opportunity. The players are rested after a tough week. We need to shore up defensively. 11 goals in 3 games. I've had a busy couple of weeks getting ready for Christmas Eve, and I was still at all 3 of those matches. And my God, do we look terrible defensively. If we do not work on our defensive display, we are going to get relegated. I'm a good man for bringing people presents, but I'm not a magician. Santa Claus is not a magician. He cannot guarantee relegation, no relegation, if we keep defending the way we've been. The January transfer window is just around the corner. Manchester United and Everton prove an opportunity to get some momentum and some points before we inevitably sign many players. I'd love to have brought some players down the chimney and put them under the Christmas tree for Eddie Howe, but unfortunately even Santa is bounded by the January transfer window. So I can't bring players in any earlier, even though I would love to have brought 6 or 7 new bodies in for December 25th. Santa's match predictions for Manchester United. If it goes ahead, I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for a score draw and an improved performance from the boys. Because defensively, I don't think we can get much worse. And I think the boys are becoming more and more aware that they need points on the board. I'll go for a 2-2 draw. As always, Newcastle fans, if you're watching this video, I've been a special guest on the Black and White Banter channel. Black and White Banter paid a lot of money to get me to do this match preview. So if you are watching, give the channel a like, give the channel a subscribe, and make sure you follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Because let's face it, Black and White Banter is the best channel on the World Wide Web. And that's coming from Santa Claus, a man who goes all over the world and watches a hell of a lot of fan channels. I hope you've all been good this year. I hope none of you wake up when I come down your chimneys. And please, Newcastle fans, don't give me milk. Give me some Newcastle brown ale if you're going to leave out a drink for me coming down that chimney. I hope you all have a lovely Christmas, and here's to 3 points for the boys. Howay the lads. Howay the fucking lads. And again, children, pardon the French, but even Santa Claus gets a bit aggressive when it comes to Newcastle United. Have a good one.